Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that failure isn't something you should be afraid of, but something you should embrace? What if the very thing that scares you the most could be the key to unlocking your greatest success? Many people never achieve their dreams because they are paralyzed by the fear of failure. They stop themselves from taking risks, from stepping out of their comfort zones, and from pursuing their true potential. But what if, instead of running from failure, you ran toward it? In this speech, we'll uncover the truth about failure and show you how to turn your fear into a tool for success. The fear of failure is real, but it's not as powerful as you think. By the end of this speech, you will have the insight and the courage to face your fears and move forward with confidence. So, if you're tired of letting fear control your life and dreams, stick with me as we explore how you can overcome the fear of failure and step into the greatness that is waiting for you. Failure is not the end. It's a learning experience. In fact, failure is one of the most powerful tools we can use for personal growth and achievement. Most people view failure as a setback or a signal that they are not good enough. The truth, however, is that failure is not an indication of your worth. It's simply a part of the journey towards success. Every time you fail, you gain a valuable lesson. You discover what works and, more importantly, what doesn't. This information is crucial because it allows you to adjust your approach and make better decisions moving forward. Think about the most successful people in the world. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. Instead, they learned from their mistakes, adapted, and kept going. For example, Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors in history, failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb. Yet he didn't see each failure as a reason to stop. He saw them as steps toward finding the solution. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." This mindset is what allowed him to achieve greatness. When you change your perspective on failure, you begin to realize that it's an opportunity to grow. Rather than seeing it as a dead end, you can see it as a detour, a path that teaches you something you didn't know before. The lesson might be that you need to refine your strategy, try a different approach, or perhaps it's about being more patient with the process. No matter the outcome, failure brings you closer to your goal because it provides you with the insights you need to improve. In addition, failure forces you to be more resilient. Every time you fail, you have two choices: to give up or to keep going. When you choose to keep going, you build strength and perseverance. This resilience is a key trait of successful individuals. It's not about how many times you fail, it's about how many times you rise again after falling. Each failure is an opportunity to strengthen your character and deepen your commitment to your goals. Moreover, failure helps you develop creativity and innovation. When one path doesn't work, you are forced to think outside the box. You must find new solutions and explore different possibilities. This process of trial and error leads to breakthroughs that would not have occurred if everything had gone smoothly. Often, the most innovative ideas come from a place of failure. When you face obstacles, you are pushed to be more creative, and creativity is the fuel for innovation and progress. So, instead of fearing failure, embrace it as a necessary part of the journey. Each failure is not a sign that you are unworthy or incapable. It's evidence that you are trying, learning, and evolving. The more you embrace failure as a stepping stone rather than an obstacle, the more you will be willing to take risks and move forward with confidence. Remember, the greatest achievements in life often come from the lessons we learn through our failures. Embrace each setback, because with every failure, you're one step closer to your ultimate success. The fear of failure is a mindset that can be changed. Fear itself is not something that we are born with. It is a learned response to life's challenges. Over time, society, our experiences, and even our own thoughts have taught us to fear failure. We often worry about what others will think, how failure might affect our reputation, or whether we are capable of handling the consequences of failure. But what if I told you that the fear of failure is merely a belief, and beliefs can be changed? Just as you learn to fear failure, you can also learn to overcome it by shifting your mindset. The first step in changing your fear of failure is recognizing that it's not the failure itself that causes harm, but the way we interpret it. Failure in and of itself is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It's just an outcome. The way we view that outcome is what determines whether we allow it to paralyze us or propel us forward. When you begin to understand that failure is simply a natural part of the process, it becomes less frightening. Instead of seeing failure as a catastrophic event, you begin to see it as a stepping stone, a learning opportunity that can help you grow. This shift in thinking doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, it becomes easier to view failure from a more constructive perspective. Another important part of overcoming the fear of failure is understanding that no one achieves success without facing it. Every successful person has encountered setbacks, disappointments, and failures along their journey. The difference is that they did not let those failures stop them. They saw failure as a temporary setback, not a permanent defeat. By embracing this mentality, you stop seeing yourself as a failure simply because you've encountered obstacles. Instead, you view yourself as someone who is resilient and capable of overcoming difficulties. The fear of failure diminishes when you realize that failure is just one chapter in the larger story of success. To further shift your mindset, you must also begin to reframe failure as an opportunity for growth. When you fail, it forces you to reflect, analyze, and find new solutions. It challenges you to step outside your comfort zone and test new strategies. Each failure provides you with invaluable information about what works and what doesn't. And this knowledge is power. By focusing on the lessons you can learn from each failure rather than the negative emotions it evokes, you empower yourself to improve and grow stronger. The key here is to stop taking failure personally. It doesn't define you. One of the most powerful tools in overcoming the fear of failure is developing a sense of self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics. And when we fail, we tend to be overly critical of ourselves. We might feel like we are not good enough or that we are not worthy of success. But this negative self-talk only serves to reinforce our fear. Instead of berating yourself, try treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. Remind yourself that you are human, and humans are meant to make mistakes. The key is not to avoid failure, but to use it as a means of learning and growing. By practicing self-compassion, you will begin to view failure as a normal part of the human experience, not something to be ashamed of. Lastly, to change the fear of failure, you must take action despite the fear. It's easy to allow fear to stop us in our tracks. But the truth is that the only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. Start small. Take one step outside your comfort zone and let that be your first victory. As you take more risks and experience failure, you will start to see that the fear is much smaller than you thought. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you act in the face of fear, the more you realize that it holds less power over you than you imagined. When you change your mindset about failure, you empower yourself to move forward without hesitation. Fear will always be present to some degree, but you can choose to not let it control your actions. By recognizing that failure is part of the journey, reframing it as an opportunity to learn, practicing self-compassion and taking action despite the fear, you can shift your mindset and start moving toward your goals with confidence. Fear of failure no longer has to hold you back. It can be the catalyst for your success. Failure has a way of building resilience when faced head-on. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from challenges, to face setbacks, and still keep going. Each time you fail and rise from it, you strengthen your ability to persevere. This is not something you're born with, it's developed over time through experience. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And each failure you encounter is an opportunity to grow that muscle, building your ability to handle future challenges. Think about the process of learning to walk as a child. In the beginning, you fall many times. Every time you stumble, you have a choice. You can stay down and give up, or you can try again. What do most children do? They try again. They may cry, but they get up, determined to keep going until they master it. This same principle applies to everything in life. When you fail, it's just part of the process of growth. Failure is not the end unless you decide to stop. The people who succeed are often the ones who keep getting up time and time again. This is where resilience comes into play. It's what keeps you going when things get tough. It's the mindset that says, this setback is just temporary. I can learn from it and do better next time. Resilience is what allows you to take risks and pursue your dreams, even when you know that failure might happen. It's the quiet strength inside you that says, I will not be defeated by this. The ability to stay focused on your goals, even when failure knocks you down, is what separates those who give up from those who ultimately succeed. When you embrace failure as a learning experience, you also start to build your confidence. You understand that each time you fail, you're getting closer to finding the solution. You know that failure doesn't define you, it refines you. This shift in perception helps you build resilience, because you no longer see failure as something to avoid, but something to learn from. You begin to see failure as an integral part of your success story. When you fail and get back up, you become more resilient. And that resilience prepares you for even greater challenges ahead. Resilience also comes from having a sense of purpose. When you are deeply connected to your goals and your dreams, it becomes easier to stay focused and keep pushing forward even when you face adversity. You know why you are doing what you're doing, and that purpose fuels your ability to endure. Without a sense of purpose, it's much harder to find the motivation to continue after you fail. But with a clear vision of your end goal, failure becomes just another obstacle to overcome on your journey. It's not the end of the road, it's just a bump along the way. The ability to bounce back also requires patience. Resilience isn't just about getting up quickly after a failure. It's about staying the course over time. Sometimes you'll fail many times before you succeed. But each time you rise again, you get closer to your goal. The key is to keep going even when progress feels slow. Success doesn't come overnight, and resilience is built through the steady effort of continuing on despite setbacks. To truly overcome the fear of failure, you need to embrace resilience as a necessary part of success. You need to believe that every failure is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, and to move closer to your dreams. The more resilient you become, the more you realize that failure doesn't have to stop you. It's just a part of the journey. As you face failure, learn from it, and rise again, you will build a powerful resilience that propels you toward your ultimate success. Your ability to bounce back and keep going is what will lead you to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Resilience is not just about enduring, it's about thriving in the face of adversity. The process of overcoming failure fear often requires a shift in the way you define success. Many people associate success with perfection, with never making mistakes, and always having things go according to plan. This distorted definition can hold you back because it sets an impossible standard. Success, in its true form, is not about never failing. It's about how you respond to challenges, how you learn from setbacks, and how you persist in the face of adversity. By redefining success, you begin to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of the process. When you define success solely as the absence of failure, you create an unrealistic expectation for yourself. No one can achieve this level of perfection. And when you inevitably fail, which you will, as it's part of every journey, it can leave you feeling defeated, unworthy, or incapable of achieving your goals. But when you redefine success as the ability to keep moving forward despite failure, you create a much more attainable and empowering vision of what it means to succeed. Success is not a final destination. It's a continual process of growth and improvement. Every failure becomes a valuable lesson that propels you forward, rather than a roadblock that stops you in your tracks. Think about it. Every time you fail, you get closer to success because you have gained knowledge and experience. Failure is an event, not a definition of who you are. You must separate the outcome of a situation from your identity. A failed attempt does not make you a failure. Instead, it is just a part of the journey to success. When you understand that failure is not a personal defeat, but rather an opportunity for growth, it becomes easier to overcome the fear of failure and take the necessary steps toward your goals. Success also involves taking calculated risks, and those risks inherently come with the possibility of failure. The people who achieve great things in life are the ones who are willing to step out of their comfort zones and try new things. Without this willingness, you stay stuck in the same place, afraid to fail, and as a result, never progressing. When you redefine success, you realize that taking risks is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Each risk you take, even if it leads to failure, teaches you valuable lessons that will bring you closer to success. Moreover, the process of failure and success is not linear. It is often messy, unpredictable, and full of detours. You may fail many times before you reach the breakthrough you've been working toward. But those setbacks are not signs that you should give up. They are opportunities to fine-tune your approach and adjust your strategy. When you understand that success doesn't happen in a straight line, you free yourself from the pressure to be perfect and allow yourself to learn and grow at your own pace. Redefining success means you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a tool for growth. Additionally, success is about resilience as much as it is about the outcome. It's the ability to keep going even when things aren't going as planned. Redefining success gives you the freedom to fail, knowing that you can always rise again. It's not about avoiding failure, but learning how to move forward in the face of it. The fear of failure will always exist, but with a new perspective on success, you begin to see failure as just another part of the process. Every failure is a stepping stone, pushing you closer to your dreams. The more you embrace this perspective, the more empowered you become to take action and pursue your goals fearlessly. So, to truly overcome the fear of failure, you must first redefine what success means to you. When you understand that success is not about avoiding failure, but about how you respond to it, you open yourself up to greater achievements. Success is not perfection, but perseverance, not avoiding failure, but learning from it. Once you embrace this definition, you will find that the fear of failure no longer holds power over you. Instead, failure becomes an essential part of your journey, and you will move forward with confidence, knowing that every setback is simply a lesson that will bring you closer to the success you desire. To overcome the fear of failure, one of the most powerful strategies is to reframe your perspective on setbacks and challenges. Instead of viewing failure as something negative, learn to embrace it as an essential part of the growth process. Failure is not something to run away from or avoid, but something to understand and accept. When you shift your mindset to see failure as an opportunity to learn, you remove its power to paralyze you. Rather than feeling defeated, you begin to feel empowered. This mindset change allows you to view each setback as a necessary step in your journey towards success. The key to reframing failure is to focus on the lessons it provides. Every failure brings with it valuable insights that help you improve, grow, and ultimately succeed. If you can look at your failures as teachers instead of roadblocks, they will no longer have the ability to cause fear. For example, if a business idea doesn't work out, instead of thinking you've failed, ask yourself what you've learned, what went wrong, what could have been done differently. How can this experience make you a better entrepreneur in the future? This approach not only removes the sting of failure, but it also makes the entire process of failure something that is worth experiencing. You are not just failing, you are gaining wisdom that will contribute to your ultimate success. When you shift your mindset, failure becomes a tool to help you grow rather than something to avoid at all costs. It's not a reflection of your worth or abilities, but rather a reflection of your willingness to step out and take risks. Every successful person has failed at some point. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from those failures and keep moving forward. If you think about the most successful individuals, whether in business, sports, or any other field, you will find a history of setbacks, challenges, and mistakes. What they all share is a determination to keep going, to not let failure define them. When you adopt the same mindset, you become unstoppable. As you practice reframing failure, you will find that your fears begin to lose their grip on you. Instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, you start to see it as a necessary part of the journey. This shift in perspective allows you to take action with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you will always have the opportunity to learn and grow. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions to take action. You start to understand that success is not about avoiding failure, but about overcoming it, learning from it, and using it to fuel your progress. Reframing failure also means letting go of perfectionism. Many people fear failure because they have a false expectation that everything must go perfectly all the time. This unrealistic standard creates immense pressure and prevents them from taking the necessary risks to achieve their goals. Perfectionism paralyzes you, keeping you stuck in place, afraid to move forward. But when you reframe failure and recognize that imperfection is a part of the process, you free yourself from the burden of needing everything to be perfect. You can finally begin to take imperfect action, knowing that every step forward, even if it's a misstep, brings you closer to your success. Furthermore, reframing failure allows you to stop comparing yourself to others. When you view failure through a new lens, you realize that everyone's journey is different. You are not failing because someone else is succeeding faster or better than you. You are on your own unique path, and your failures are part of your personal development. Everyone has their own timeline and success. Once you stop comparing yourself to others, you can focus entirely on your own growth and improvement. This internal shift enables you to take bold action, to make decisions without the constant worry of how you measure up to others. In the end, the fear of failure can be completely transformed when you choose to view failure as an opportunity for learning and growth. Reframing your perception of failure changes everything. It allows you to step forward with confidence, to take risks without the paralyzing fear of what might go wrong. Every failure becomes an opportunity to learn, adjust, and move forward. You will no longer fear failure. You will embrace it as part of the journey to success. To truly overcome the fear of failure, it's important to understand that failure doesn't have the final say. Your actions do. The way you respond to failure plays a crucial role in whether or not it will define you. Many people let failure determine their future by choosing to stop, quit, or give up on their dreams after a setback. But the true key to overcoming the fear of failure is learning how to respond to challenges with perseverance and determination. It's not the failure that matters most, but what you do after you fail. When you choose to view failure as a temporary obstacle rather than a permanent roadblock, you shift the power back to yourself. Failure doesn't have to be the end of the road. It can simply be a detour, an opportunity to reassess, learn, and continue moving forward. Each time you fail and rise again, you reinforce your ability to handle setbacks and move past them. The more resilient your response to failure is, the more equipped you are to face future challenges. Moreover, your mindset plays a pivotal role in how you respond to failure. If you see failure as a sign of your limitations, it will paralyze you. But if you see it as an inevitable part of your growth process, you will approach failure with the attitude of a learner rather than a victim. The key is to accept that failure will come. It's not a matter of if, but when. Once you accept this, you free yourself from the fear of failure, because you realize it's not something that can stop you. It's simply an experience to learn from and move on. An important aspect of overcoming the fear of failure is understanding that success doesn't always come quickly. Success requires time, persistence, and continuous effort. Many people fear failure because they believe they should see immediate results. But real growth often happens in the long term. When you give up too soon, you rob yourself of the opportunity to experience the breakthrough that could have come after just one more attempt. Therefore, learning how to stay the course, even when you fail, is essential to overcoming that fear. Success comes when you keep trying, keep improving, and refuse to let failure define your journey. Additionally, overcoming the fear of failure involves surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage your growth. The people you surround yourself with will either strengthen or weaken your resolve. If you are constantly around people who are critical or who fear failure themselves, it's easy to be discouraged. But when you connect with those who believe in growth and resilience, who encourage you to take risks and learn from setbacks, you build a strong network of support. This support system can provide the encouragement you need when failure occurs, helping you stay motivated and focused on your goals. Another crucial part of overcoming the fear of failure is learning to embrace self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself after failure, to beat yourself up and think you're not good enough. But this type of negative self-talk only feeds the fear and discourages you from trying again. When you approach yourself with kindness and understanding, you allow room for growth and healing. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, you focus on what you can do better moving forward. This compassionate approach helps you maintain a positive attitude even after setbacks, which is essential for continuing on the path to success. Finally, it's essential to keep reminding yourself that failure is not a reflection of who you are. It's simply an experience, one that many successful people have gone through. Every great achievement is built on the foundation of numerous failures. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their willingness to keep going despite setbacks. When you choose to respond to failure with resilience, determination, and self-compassion, you take away its power. You realize that failure isn't a reflection of your worth, but simply a step on the road to success. In conclusion, overcoming the fear of failure comes down to how you respond to it. By reframing failure as an opportunity for growth, embracing persistence, surrounding yourself with support, and practicing self-compassion, you free yourself from the fear that holds you back. Failure will no longer have the power to stop you. Instead, it becomes just another part of the journey, another step towards success. When you change your response to failure, you unlock your true potential, and the fear of failure no longer controls you.